Social Security is a crucial government program for millions. It provides regular income to retired individuals. Many older Americans depend heavily on these funds, and these benefits help pay for daily living costs. Think of food, housing, and healthcare expenses. For a long time, these benefits were not taxed. However, that changed several decades ago. Now, some retirees must pay federal income tax on them. This is something many people are not aware of initially, and it can come as a surprise when they start receiving benefits. The tax on Social Security benefits doesn't affect everyone though. It mainly applies to people with other sources of income. If your total income is above a certain level, you pay. These income thresholds were set back in 1984. There are different levels for individuals and married couples. For example, an individual with combined income over $25,000 might pay. For couples filing jointly, the threshold starts at $32,000. Up to 85% of your benefits could be subject to tax, depending on how much your total income exceeds these limits. It is calculated as part of your regular income tax return. A key issue is that these income thresholds are not indexed for inflation. This means they have not increased over the many years. As wages and other incomes have risen, more people are affected. Retirees who might not have paid this tax in the past now do. Their incomes may have grown, pushing them over the fixed limits. This is often called bracket creep for Social Security. It means the tax gradually impacts more and more seniors. This is a significant point in discussions about fairness. Many argue these thresholds should be updated for today's economy, but changing them would also reduce government revenue. The money collected from taxing Social Security benefits is important. It does not just disappear into general government funds. A significant portion goes back into the Social Security system. Specifically, it helps to fund the Social Security trust funds. Another part of this tax revenue helps fund Medicare. Medicare is the health insurance program for seniors. So, this tax helps keep both vital programs afloat financially. Eliminating this tax would mean less money for these programs. This is a major reason why it was introduced. It aimed to strengthen the financial footing of these systems. Removing the tax on Social Security benefits sounds appealing. Many retirees would certainly welcome the extra money, that's for sure. However, such a change would come with a very high cost. The federal government would lose a lot of revenue. Estimates from groups like the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget are stark. They suggest it could cost around $450 billion over 10 years. Other estimates project even higher costs, up to $1.8 trillion through 2035. This lost money would significantly increase the federal deficit. This is a major concern for policymakers watching the budget. Finding ways to replace that revenue would be very challenging. The impact on Social Security's own finances would be direct. The Social Security trust funds are already facing shortfalls. They are projected to be unable to pay 100% of benefits by around 2033. Removing the tax on benefits would make this situation worse. It's estimated this would worsen the 75-year shortfall by about 25%. The date when the main retirement trust fund runs low on funds could move up. It might become insolvent more than a year sooner than currently projected. This means less time for Congress to find a solution. It puts more pressure on the program's long-term stability. Lawmakers are trying to prevent benefit cuts, not accelerate them. Medicare's finances would also take a significant hit. As mentioned, some revenue from taxing benefits supports Medicare. Specifically, it helps the Hospital Insurance Trust Fund. This fund pays for hospital care and other inpatient services. Like Social Security, Medicare HI faces its own financial challenges. Eliminating the tax on benefits would nearly triple its 75-year shortfall. Its insolvency date could be accelerated by as much as 6 years. This would create an even more urgent crisis for Medicare funding. Ensuring Medicare's stability is a huge priority for the government. Losing this revenue stream would make that task much harder. The financial analyses assume no new money replaces the lost tax. If the government found other taxes or cut spending elsewhere, the impact might differ. However, finding such offsets is politically very difficult. Raising other taxes is usually unpopular with many voters. Cutting other government programs also faces strong opposition. So, the assumption of no replacement revenue is often realistic. This means the full weight of the cost falls on the deficit. It also accelerates the trust fund depletion for Social Security and Medicare. This would likely force earlier and possibly tougher decisions. These could include benefit cuts or larger tax increases down the line. The idea of cutting taxes on Social Security benefits often comes up in politics. It's a popular proposal, especially during election campaigns. Former President Donald Trump, for instance, talked about this. During his 2024 campaign, he pledged to eliminate these federal taxes. He suggested this as a way to provide relief to seniors. Many older voters found this promise very attractive. It held out the hope of more money in their pockets each month. The appeal is understandable given rising living costs. Such promises can generate a lot of positive attention, but turning campaign rhetoric into actual policy is often complex. However, recent developments show a shift away from this promise. In May 2025, former President Trump's team unveiled a major new tax plan. This proposal was dubbed the One Big, Beautiful Bill. Despite his earlier pledges, this bill did not include eliminating Social Security taxes. This was a notable omission and broke a key campaign promise. It signaled that the idea might be too costly or difficult. The realities of federal budgeting often clash with campaign trail ideas. This development was reported by major news outlets. It suggests that the initial proposal faced significant hurdles. Perhaps the staggering cost projections played a major role in this change. Instead of a full tax cut, a different idea has emerged. The House Republican budget, also discussed around May 2025, offered an alternative. This alternative is called a senior bonus tax deduction. It's a $4,000 tax deduction for Americans aged 65 and older. However, it only applies to those who do not itemize their deductions. There are also income limits for this bonus. It begins to phase out for individuals earning over $75,000. For married couples, the phase-out starts at $150,000. This makes it a much more targeted form of tax relief. It's not the sweeping elimination previously discussed. This senior bonus is a much more modest proposal. It is estimated to cost around $71 billion, far less than a full repeal. This makes it appear more fiscally responsible to some lawmakers. It is also designed to be temporary, set to end in 2028. This temporary nature helps to limit its long-term budget impact. Some observers see this as a scaled-back version of Trump's original promise. It's likely a response to concerns about Social Security's financial health. MSNBC News described it as a SOP, a smaller concession. It aims to provide some relief, particularly for inflation, but it carefully avoids the massive costs of a full tax elimination. The main reason big cuts to Social Security taxes are unlikely is simple. There is very little bipartisan support for such a move in Congress. Making major changes to tax law usually requires broad agreement. This is especially true for something as significant as Social Security. Without backing from both Democrats and Republicans, passage is improbable. The financial implications are just too large for one party to push through easily. Concerns about the deficit and trust fund stability are widespread. Many lawmakers are hesitant to approve measures that worsen these problems. The focus is often more on shoring up Social Security, not reducing its income. Therefore, a complete elimination of the tax remains a long shot. The senior bonus tax deduction represents a more cautious approach. It is a compromise, much smaller in scale and cost. This proposal acknowledges the desire to help seniors financially, but it also reflects the serious concerns about program funding. By targeting the relief and making it temporary, it's less risky. It avoids the drastic impact on the Social Security and Medicare trust funds. This kind of limited measure is easier for some politicians to support. It can be presented as a sensible step to help with rising costs. It does not fundamentally alter the structure of Social Security financing. This makes it a more politically palatable option currently. The current system of taxing some Social Security benefits is staying put. This is largely because that tax revenue is critically important. It helps fund the very programs that seniors rely on. As we've seen, the Social Security and Medicare trust funds are already under pressure. Their projected insolvency dates are a constant worry for policymakers. Removing a key source of their income would only make things worse. The existing tax structure, while imperfect, contributes to their stability. The fact that income thresholds haven't risen with inflation is a valid concern, but fixing that also has costs that need to be considered. Right now, maintaining current revenue streams is a priority. So, despite ongoing discussions and campaign promises, major changes are improbable. The high fiscal cost is a primary deterrent to eliminating the tax. The negative impact on the Social Security and Medicare trust funds is another. These programs face long-term challenges that need solutions, not new problems. The lack of strong bipartisan political support in Congress is also key. The senior bonus is a more limited temporary measure. It is a nod to helping seniors, but not a fundamental shift. For now, the system of taxing some Social Security benefits will continue. It is seen as necessary to help fund these essential retirement programs. Protecting the future of Social Security remains the larger goal.